Hey, welcome to Badass Benny 1010, and this is my channel. If you are a survivor, AMAC, or human sex trafficking, you're in the right place, and you're badass. Today I'm going to share a story, my own personal sexual assault story, and hope it helps you, and it's just one of many, and so um, and when I got to be, I did EMDR, which is, it says eye movement desensitization. It's DESENSITIZATION. Desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR. And they use EMDR with veterans in war with PTSD. Now, I have complex PTSD, which is different than PTSD, and that is chronic. It's chronically happened for like a lifetime, like uh, chronic severe neglect, chronic um, not being taken care of, things of those of natures, and you're constantly being raped, you're constantly being terrorized, you're constantly, it's like being in a war, you know. So that's just a little bit of what complex PTSD is. So after I tell my story, sometimes it takes me, if I was to tell my full story, it takes about 5 or 6 hours, and it took me a week and a half just to get to charge up, you know, because it takes energy to tell a story. So this is EMDR is a structured psychotherapy that helps people heal from traumatic memories and their PTSD. It reduces their emotional uh, outbursts and through bilateral stimulation. And sometimes our memories get stuck and we have flashbacks over and over and over and over. And so EMDR does help. And I did that up to I was 48 years old. And in my last story, when I finally got to the core, I just wanted to have joy. I wanted to live my life and stop therapy. And because I felt like I've done a lot of work and I just inner work, and I wanted to live life now. And um, so I just wanted to say that my words are going to be more raw and real than the story that I read before. So this story, I took my sexual inventory into rape crises clinic that was in my hometown, and I was in recovery from a 12-step program, and they had a sexual inventory. So I wrote out from birth to 18, and then 18 as an adult, all the sexual uh, experiences that I've had. And um, so when I would take this one particular memory to my um, therapist, it was actually a peer counselor, and every Thursday at 10 I would go in. And so sometimes when we tell our stories, it can take us back then to that time. But I don't feel that way. I've been in 5 car crashes, so it just takes me longer to get things out, get my words together. So there was there was a memory of me about like a baby toddler just, you know, walking, and um, I think just over the diaper stage, you know. And so I would kept going to this bar, and it had like a back door, it had a back gate and a screen door, and I went through the screen door, opened it up, and there was a man in there, and there was always a memory, a flashback of chips, like the really small bags, and he was trying to give it to me, and I would always stop for years I would stop at that memory. That is as far as I could go with my peer counselor, because I couldn't get past it. I didn't know the trauma was so profound that my mind just was in shock. It gets in shock. And so this is where my disassociation began. I have DIDs. It's not multiple personalities. DIDs is like, let's say you're driving your car, you go through the light. Now, did you look at the light to see if it was green? Or it's kind of like daydreaming. It's like daydreaming. You're just in your head, and you're in it, and you have to learn not to just stay in it, okay? And so I went into this bar, and the guy finally, when I went and did EMDR, and that was in my 40s, and it was like the Ever Ready Bunny, like the Ever Ready Bunny on the commercial. It's like going and going and going and going and going. It was like that. I'm just going since toddler to 48. Toddler to 48. It's a lot of years to be, like a kid with a deer in the headlight look, and you're just, and I was smoking cigarettes. Yeah, you're going to like me. So the thing is that when I did EMDR, we have to be careful when you do therapy like that, because it can take you back to get re-traumatized, and you don't want that. But it happens sometimes. If it does, then your adult self now can help that inner child. And so what happened is this man picked me up, the bartender, threw me across the a room and wanted to rape me from behind. And he was angry, kept calling me bitch, because he couldn't get in. He was too big. I was a baby. Now, what does that have to do with sex? Nothing. It has to do with power and control. That's it. That's what rape is about, power and control. And he kept calling me names, and finally, somehow I got away. Walked up and got away because he stopped. And I walked across I remember at that time too, like I, as an adult, was protecting my baby self. And if that makes sense, I had to go back in time, and here I am, an adult person, I had to go back and help myself at that time and protect myself. And doing the EMDR really helped to process it, to get through it, and making new synapses in my brain. And I don't have flashbacks about it anymore. And I've healed from it, is what I'm saying. And it took me a lot of years to get there. And I mean, I did EMDR. I almost had a stroke. I did have a stroke. It was just, either you have one, you don't, but it was very, very close, right before I got married too. And, healing takes as long as it takes. Sometimes my partner would ask, when is this going to be done? And it's hard on the significant other. And my family, it's been very difficult having outbursts and trauma. Having triggers, and learning what my triggers are. So that's one story of mine. And after I heard that story, y'all, I just wanted to live life, to have joy. Then a lot of I'm like, I want to be happy. We have a right to be happy, because what happened to us wasn't our fault. It's like, happy, and this is why I'm doing my channel, because of my heroine, Vicky Guthrie, who committed suicide last year. And I have that video that I did on the coast, and what made me come back home. I was so upset that she killed herself, and that she didn't have the support that she did then while she was alive. Because she has a right to be alive. And people who perpetrate on others are destroying lives. What I have is from sexual assault. That's it. In car crashes, I've been in 5. I broke my neck. And that's another story. And, you know, people need to stop covering for perpetrators. It must stop. And the only way is to go inside, to stop the toxicity, and to live in a pure, good living way, you know, with some integrity and values. And people seem to have lost what it means to be innocent. An innocent child. I didn't deserve that. The violence. And this is what happens to girls' bodies. I'm a transgender, so, you know, I see both sides of the picture. I'm two-spirit. I'm a sacred being. I'm native, and this is what I call myself. It has nothing to do with sexual orientation, and that's none of your business. Anybody's business. It has to do with spiritual identification. And a lot of us are seers and clairvoyant, have gifts, spiritual gifts, like from God, higher power. And we had certain roles in our community. We named children, you know, took care of our parents, just, you know, and people like myself have been the colonizers. You know, the way of thinking was kill that person. They would, if they found out a two-spirit was in a tribe, they would, the colonists would sick their dogs on them, tear them up and kill them. So if I can experience cruelty at such a young age, just the beginning of life, then you can choose peace. Because if you continue doing these behaviors, it's on you and your spirit. We all must take responsibility and look at ourselves, our ownership of ourselves. Self-love is where it's at. And dignity, you know. And so it took a lot of work. I was a wild child, feral child. And I'll talk about those things too. And I'm writing a book. It's taken me a long time. I've tried 3 times, got scammed out of money. I believe in psychic attacks and black magic. People who see me, if people see you rise, they will do things to keep you, you know, no. I'm about bringing people up. And if you're going to hang out with me in this channel and feel my energy, you're going to change. It's just inevitable. If you meet me in my energy, it's truth or not. It's just truth, or, you know. If anybody hasn't told you that you're loved today, I love you unconditionally through my higher power to you. And I want to tell you that you are worthy. And keep going. If you start your healing today, great. Keep going. Get the support. Ask questions. Tell your story. The more we tell our stories, the more that poison gets out and the shame and guilt go away. Well, God bless you. I love you. And please write questions. Thank you.